We are back, and after the snooze fest and the shortest game of the match in the previous round, Magnus has got the white pieces. So let's see how he handles this position. We repeat the Petroff, and he goes for d4. And I showed the line in a previous game that I like best when playing the Petroff, which is the early knight c3, and Magnus has played this quite frequently himself. But if I had to have a second choice, it would be these lines with d4, as white can pretty much liquidate the position and be guaranteed to have just the tiniest little pull. And that's exactly what he goes for, so no risk-taking. Put the onus on his opponent to try. So with the white pieces, Magnus is simply going for this knight takes line, and there's a lot of liquidation here. Knight d7, takes, knight d2, takes, bishop d6 with a symmetrical position without knights. And they say typically without knights, there are no tactics. And after castles, you're expecting just a simple move like castles and maybe a move like queen h5 is played. And this is a pretty general position. Well, h5. And this is the most interesting and instructive moment of the game because black is showing that he's trying to win from this position. And Magnus spent roughly 40 minutes on this move, really hunkering down and trying to figure it out. And it really says to me, it's like, I are the engine. No need for an engine when you can calculate like this. So he figures out best way to go. Good bishop versus bad bishop scenario. Queen e1 check, followed by bishop b4. Let's just get rid of the bad b. Good place to start. Takes. Now queen d2. And it's just the tiniest little thing. And I love the fact that it was a guiding principle of chess in these positions that I wanted to just simply trade off my bad bishop. So let's understand the good bishop and bad bishops, what it means. All right, so for instance, if we take off the heavies, this pawn is always going to be on a light square. It's cemented. I do not, with white, ever have to say capture c5. If he plays it, I'll just play c3. So that is going to be a target for the rest of the game, the d5 pawn. My bishop will always be able to attack it. His bishop can only ever defend it. His bishop has absolutely no bearing on my pawn. So, I have the good bishop, and I want to put all my pawns on dark squares. I want to force my opponent's pawns on light squares. His bishop gets weaker as this takes place. Our bishop gets stronger. So that's the plan. Just the tiniest little imbalance to work with. Magnus is in great shape in the match, so no risks. I love it. Rook e8, rook e1, happy to trade. How else is that rook going to get active? Queen g5, and on c6, takes, improves the final piece. Queen f6. There's room for improvement in keeping the queen on the board, so queen e3, perfect piece harmony. And all throughout the match, I pointed this out, Magnus just always seems to have great piece harmony. Look at the rook on h6. Look at the bishop on e8. Now look at our bishop and the queen and rook. Beautiful quality. So got to stop the dropping of the bishop and mate. h3. Luft for the king, taking away the g4 square. h4. And now this next move surprised me when initially I saw it, because I would probably just play something like c3 and then gradually, slowly try to improve. But Magnus goes c4 straight away. And we get this isolated d-pawn, but the bishop improves, hitting the f square. We also have some ideas of queen a3 check. And black has this knee-jerk reaction in the position, b5. And now the game just kind of goes sideways. check, takes. You take my bishop, I take yours. Bishop b3, pawn in hand. Rook e4, defending while placing some pressure, leaving the queen open to move. Happy to trade down. Now let's see the technique here. Extra pawn and a queen ending. Blockade the pawns, none of them are going anywhere. Now we need to watch out for the only chance that black has with the perpetual. Check. Check. b3. Notice how we control one of the perpetual check squares. So nothing that black can do in that realm. Queen takes. Check. Takes. Another one falls. Queen e5. Again, controlling one of the perpetual check squares. And now at least one passer should be good enough here, but two is more than enough. Queen b2. Check. Getting ready to push and controlling a perpetual square. King g1, and even one queen c3. Again, controlling key squares. No hurry. Magnus knows he's got it. d5. And the best option you have is to go h3. But after queen f3, Nepo sees no reason to continue here, as the world champion shows absolutely crushing play, getting a second win in the world championship. And it comes down to the key moment. h5 in and of itself may not be a bad move, but I was extremely impressed by the world champion taking 40 minutes, really figuring out the position. It's a simple position. You really don't need that much time for the overall game. So he finds the critical response, good bishop versus bad bishop, and gets just the tiniest little something. Very impressive play by the world champion, who is now up 2-0 as the match is quickly coming to a close.